Hi, this is Anna Imagination with the Healing Garden, and welcome to Shifting Perspectives. If you are new to my channel, I am a philosopher, psychologist, sociologist of 30 years. And one of my secretive hobbies is actually the history of cinematography. I am a passionate movie connoisseur. And Disney is absolutely no exception. I have been watching the psychology of Disney for the last 20 years, 30 years, 30 years. And I almost feel sorry for them. So there is an evolution of Disney that I've been studying for a long time. And they're at a point where they just can't seem to get the fuck out of their own way. And I've been giggling since Tangled. No, not Tangled. I've been giggling about this since Frozen, where I'm going, wow, could you guys amp up your politics anymore? And they've gotten so much hate and so much bad rap. And I first have to break it down and go over what happened. When Disney first launched Disney, it was with intent to provide basic fairy tales to his niche, which were girls. It was a reflection of the times. Absolutely. So all the girls were slender, all the girls were falling in love, and all the girls needed to be rescued by a man, and all of the girls were damsels in distress. When Disney died, there was this scrambling chaos that occurred in Disney where they went, oh no, what do we do? And that is when they created films like The Great Mouse Detective, which was fucking awesome. This is when they created, well, first they created The Black Cauldron, and the Christian Republican side went, oh no, witchcraft. So they went, well, we're not doing that. And that was the first. That was the first. Black Cauldron was like the Disney moment that they tried and everyone screamed, ah! And they went, okay, we won't do that again. So then they decided to do a different route. Instead of doing the fairy tale, they thought that they would go to classic literature. So this is when they did Black Cauldron. The entire Christian Republican community screamed in horror. Okay. Then they did Sherlock Holmes with The Great Mouse Detective. Then they did Rescuers Down Under. Oh my God, I love Rescuers. And then they did Lilo and Stitch and Emperor's New Groove. In the meantime, there was this political shift that was occurring in society where everyone was trying to figure out why girls were growing up to be so submissive and so unempowered. So everyone pointed a big fat finger at Disney movies, saying it's Disney faults. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, Disney was a mirror reflecting the societal culture. It wasn't the cause of, it was a mirror. Did it encourage it? Well, yeah, it created another mirror for other people to mimic and respond because that's how we learn. So Disney did what everybody did. By the way, Warner Brothers was doing it with Bugs Bunny. We won't even talk about the racism when it comes to Bugs Bunny films. But Disney was held to this massive standard. But wait, it gets better. So after they were trying to figure themselves out and they kind of figured their way with Lilo and Stitch, then they took another direction with it, and that's where you get into Pixar. Now, that's not when they got into Pixar. Right after The Great Mouse Detective and Rescuers Down Under, they completely brought in, I think this is the Michael Eisner era, and they brought in a completely new team who we all know and love, Alan Menken, and I cannot remember the other gentleman's name. And they did Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, and Aladdin, and then Lion King. This is what we refer to as the golden age of Disney. This is when Disney was like cranking out the most money. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, I was 8 years old when these movies came out, okay? I was 8, all right? And I will tell you what I took away from The Little Mermaid. I'm going to say it again. I was 8. Okay, these movies were made for me. I was the niche. I walked away from Little Mermaid going, look at how much she stood up to her father for her own dream. And her dream was to become a human being. I never once, ever saw it as she turned herself into a human for a man. No, she's saying part of your world long before she saw the dude who she fell in love with. Actually, right after that song. Like, this girl had a serious human collection long before she met Eric. So, just saying. That being said, I adored Ariel as an 8-year-old girl. I have an obsession with mermaids, as we all know, so that was not a surprise. When Belle came out, Belle was my goddess and my hero. I saw, oh my God, it's a girl who wants more in her life, and she has a serious love affair with books. So I related to Belle. Belle and I were tight. Like, she got me. And it was 100% her passion for books. I saw Belle as, if she really was depicted as the way everyone claims Disney depicts women, she would have fallen head over heel over Gaston. Ugh, ugh, like, ugh, gross. Now, there's a lot of other stuff going on there, I know, with Beast and all that jazz. But the point is, Belle was a fucking intelligent, well-read, educated, learned human girl. She was fucking awesome. She was my hero. With Aladdin, oh, I loved Jasmine's like, I am not a prize to be won. Oh, I was on that bandwagon. You should have seen me like 1990s happen. And I was like, oh yeah, women empowerment. So I'm going to tell you right now, as an 8-year-old, 9-year-old, 10-year-old girl watching these movies during that time period, I was fucking empowered. And the fact that Ariel was like, I am 16 years old. I'm not a child. Oh yeah, you go, girl. Like, this is how these movies impacted me. That being said, after Howard Ashman, thank you. After Howard Ashman, I'm not going to cry. After Howard Ashman passed away, during the making of Aladdin, they lost their dynamic duo of Alan Menken and Howard Ashman. And that's when they brought in Elton John's Lion King. Now, I love cats. So that's like a whole nother thing happening with me. But once again, they had gotten this golden age of Disney where everything was fucking awesome. They thought they had their niche. It was right back to where they thought it was going to be. It was awesome for them. And what ended up happening was it plunged them right into well, now we got to figure out our niche. And that's when they made Lion King. Now, from there, that's when Pixar branched off. And by the way, this is when DreamWorks kind of kicked onto the scene because there was a feud going on with the animators between the Beauty and the Beast film and this dude. There was a conflict because this dude wanted to do CGI. They allowed CGI in the ballroom scene in Beauty and the Beast. And then there was more conflict, and this guy said, screw you, I'm going to go make DreamWorks. And he did. He went off and he made DreamWorks. And when he went off and he made DreamWorks, well, yeah, Shrek happened. And we all know how that started with him wiping his ass on the storybook page. So that being said, that was happening. Now, while that was happening, Pixar blasted into the saying and went, oh, that guy who like we fired because of DreamWorks, he was onto something. We need to do something else. So they came along Pixar. And now there's this massive hate fest happening with it. There's been a hate fest happening with Disney for like, what, 20 years now? And it's been interesting to watch Disney, and it's been, like I said, I've been tracking this political thing with Disney since Black Cauldron came out, and it's hilarious to me because they just can't seem to get out their own way. So the first thing that they endured was the whole love conquers all and sacrificing everything. Now I'm going to tell you right now, the whole love conquers all. I went back and I rewatched these early Disney films. I'm talking Snow White. I am talking Sleeping Beauty. Sleeping Beauty is the big one. Okay. Sleeping Beauty, Maleficent says love conquers all, but there's like a whole nother paragraph that occurs. It is not love conquers all in the sense of romantic love between man and woman. That is not the speech she gives at all. And if people actually sit down, shut up and watch the film, there's actually this whole thing that goes before that sentence. And what Maleficent explains is that love does the idea of, well, sacrificing oneself for one's friends. And that we see a lot in Baloo and Mowgli with, I can't remember the name of the movie. I can't remember the name of it. But this has been an ongoing theme in general for a very long time, for centuries, that love conquers all. Now, wisdom, love does conquer all, absolutely. And that is something that you really, truly hear from Maleficent within this speech that she gives. And taken out of context, somebody politically did a smear campaign against Disney about, well, they're trying to promote women falling in love with man and all that jazz. And that's a whole nother thing. And I'm all over the concept of, okay, why are these men kissing women without consent? That's like a whole nother thing. That being said, it is watching Disney trip over itself to try and save itself. And the first thing I noticed with this is the anime. Disney hated on anime. And there was a lot of political speed going on with that, where it was the anime world versus Disney. And then they did Studio Ghibli. I love Studio Ghibli. And they're like, oh no, we support anime. Look. And they brought Studio Ghibli over and they created a whole lot of Ponyo. And I love Ponyo. A whole lot of everything that is Studio Ghibli. And that was Disney going, look, we politically support anime. And then there was more politics. Disney this, Disney did this, Disney did this. Oh, look at that. That's not true. Look. And then they made Frozen. Now, Frozen is the first hate fest that I had where I'm like, really, guys? Are you trying too hard? Where it was love conquers all, but this time it's going to be ram it down your throat, sister love. And I felt like with Frozen, they tried way too hard to show how neutral they were, how politically supportive. And honestly, this is it. I really feel like since the movie Frozen, Frozen, they have just been trying way too fucking hard to prove their political neutrality. And then they're doing these, and this is where it's like, die already, please just die, where they're cranking out live action film after live action film. And it's like vomitous at this point. It is vomitous. Because I'm like, why are you rehacking old material? Like, die already. It's painful. And then they did Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. No comment. No comment. And I think that's really it, is how can you sit there? And I cannot remember his name, so give me just a moment. He is the actor. I did not watch Game of Thrones. I watched, what is his name? One of the Lancasters. It's not Keith, Jamie, the other Lancaster. Give me a minute here. I do not know his name. I should clarify. Game of Thrones. I don't even know if I'm saying the right name or not. Give me a minute. I know this one character. He was in the Thor movie, Thor Ragnarok. Lancaster, not Cersei, not Jamie, the other guy. And I just cannot remember his name right now. Oh, and I just cannot remember it. It's bothering me so much right now. You know who I'm talking about. Oh, it's not Jamie. It's not Cersei. It's the other one. Tywin. Thank you. No, wait. No. See, this is what happens when you don't watch the movies. Tyrion. Thank you. Tyrion. So Tyrion, that actor, he released a statement on the Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, and I am like, yeah, what he said. So Tyrion's opinion on Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, this live action film, Tyrion and I are like, well, Tyrion, what's his real name? Like, he and I are like, I agree. Like, oh my God, I could not be more disgusted with Lannister. That's why I couldn't find his name. Peter Dinklage. That's Peter Dinklage. He gave his reflections, his opinion on the Snow White film, and I 100% agree with it. Absolutely spot on to that. And this is just it. I'm watching Disney create Studio Ghibli to go, look, we're neutral. And then I'm watching, you're fucking hypocrites, Disney. You're fucking hypocritical. There, I'll say it. And then they create Frozen to show that they're politically neutral on that front. When they try so hard, it's vomitous. But then they turn around and they're doing Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, really? Could you be any more offensive. Like, it's fucking disgusting. And I'm now watching this. I was watching a short on YouTube where this woman was reviewing all the hate that it's now getting because they're now doing short films where they are emphasizing body image, and it's a ballet dancer who's a plus size ballet dancer, and they're trying to show their political support, and I'm like, good God, Disney, get the fuck out of, like, and this is the problem with Disney at this point, is they have had this problem since Black Cauldron. They're trying to appease everybody. They're trying to get on board with, and I'll tell you what it is. All right, Disney, here's your problem. Are you listening? Because this is your problem. You're trying to please everybody. You're not telling story anymore. You're making a political statement. And as a result, your movies are nothing more than politics now. It's no longer about story. And everyone, and the reason why, they have a huge, our future rests in your hands, Disney. What are you going to do now? The problem is they've been so hypocritical that they just need to shut the brand down and rebrand. But the word Disney has been so tainted now. It's like J.K. Rowling and her political shit. As soon as they touch base into that political shit, it's now tainted. And it's like, what are you doing? Now, the brand has become so affiliated with that taint, with that image, that we can't separate the two. We can't separate the two. And it's really like, Disney is now synonymous, and I'm going to say it, Disney is now synonymous with political damaging hypocrisy. And no matter what they do, that is their brand now. Do you know this, Disney? That you cannot do anything now without somebody just going, oh yes, the hypocritical political garbage of Disney ruining our children. Like, that is the brand. And and I'll tell you, it is 100% because they chose to do a movie way back with Black Cauldron and they didn't commit. They have been trying to do people pleasing since day one. And it's this massive blame game. And it wouldn't be so bad if they weren't hypocritical about it. They can't please the people and tell the stories that they were telling. And like, they have got to do a complete brand rewash and rebrand. Like, they need to drop the word Disney and call it me, like something, or dis. It's just dis now. Like, they need to do a full rebrand. They need to do a full image makeup, because right now where they are, they cannot get away from the fact that they are so steeped in politics, and they've got to be consistent. They cannot sit there and do a movie like Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs and turn around and do a movie like Frozen, ram it down your throat, female empowerment. It's like, dude, you are all over the political map. What the fuck are you doing? Like, so that is the chaos that is now Disney. So it's funny because I see like almost a Monty Python cutout flying circus character of ah, and then the left wing screams ah, and then the right wing screams ah, and this is just what I see of Disney right now. And I've been watching this for like 30 years now with Disney, where I'm just going because Black Cauldron ah, and then they go over there and they're frozen, and it just they are so all over the fucking map, and it's because they're not telling story anymore. They are more interested in showing the world that they're politically everybody's friend. And that's the problem, is you cannot please the right wingers and the left wingers at the same time. You got to pick a team, Disney, and commit. And that is exactly what the problem is. They're trying to appease conformists while trying to tread softly with nonconformists. They're trying to support the LGBTQ while also slandering the white Snow White community. Like, what the fuck are you doing, Disney? And this is just a phenomenal example of why a brand should not get involved with politics unless your brand is all about getting involved with politics. Like, you can't have both. And if you're going to get involved with politics, you got to pick a side and commit. So it's like, it's at a point to me where it's now just laughable, because I'm just like, they can't do anything right. They just can't do anything right. But here's the thing with Disney. They're obsessed with making sure they're pleasing everyone and they have such the worst case of people pleasing I've ever seen. Like, And all I can think of is this is not what Disney had in mind. He just wanted to tell stories to delight children. Like, and honestly, even I think he'd be safe if he stuck with Winnie the Pooh, but he sold rights to that, so he doesn't have that anymore. So, like, really, they just need to go back to Winnie the Pooh, where the most they could offend in Winnie the Pooh is stuffed bears, and that's bottom line. That's it. They really need to like stay away from the girl genre. Like, girls should no longer be your niche because clearly you assholes ruined that, and they just and it was funny because I remember when they were doing when they did Milan. Oh my God, Pocahontas. Oh my God, the outrage when they did Pocahontas. Like, could you be more fucking insensitive? Like, fucking inaccurate. Oh my God, Pocahontas was a nightmare. That being said, my God, the artwork in that, like the background with the watercolors. My God, I love the watercolors in Pocahontas. But historically speaking, it was a piece of garbage. And it was just like, what are you doing? Like, and it's almost laughable at this point because Disney has literally targeted unintentionally with the intent to not offend everybody. Disney has successfully offended everybody. And that is the delight that I am getting from this whole thing at this point is in an attempt to not offend anybody, they have successfully offended everybody. So they have not done mentally ill people yet. Yeah, I'm waiting for that film. They're going to do a film where they depict somebody with mental illness. And I'm going to be like, really? Really? Could you be more offensive? Like, I'm waiting for it. So this is my 2 cents on the Hippocratic mess that is Disney. And it's just, I'm at a point where I'm like, who are they going to offend next? Because that's where it's at. Is they just need to shut down, rebrand. WALL-E was good. I don't think they offended anyone in WALL-E. What do you think? I think WALL-E, they managed to not offend anybody. But it's blowing my mind that I'm like, really? It's just moving. Like I said, I just see this group of Monty Python flying circus. And it's like, and then they come out with Snow White. So I'm just like, you guys, just stop what you're doing, shut everything down, and just so my daughter just said, what about plus size people? And that is actually what started this whole thing is they did just do a short film on plus size people. And what ended up happening was it offended everybody because they are hating on Disney. And they just can't win. They cannot win because they have completely fucked up their agenda. They're not making movies anymore. They're making political statements, but they're contradicting and being hypocritical about it at the same time. So it's just like, I want to be where the people are. This is not the Disney I grew up with. I just got to say, I loved Ariel. I loved Belle. And I loved Jasmine. Those 3 girls were like, yeah, to war. Like, I was so inspired off of those 3 girls. Like, yeah, I'm going to tell my father to fuck off. I'm 16 years old. I'm not a child. And I've got my books. And I'm going to do the right kind thing because I got my books. And I am not a prize to be what? Like, these women shaped me. So, yeah, and I never walked away with body issues from those 3 girls. I never once walked away going, you want to know what really fucked me up? It was my own father. That's what fucked me up. It was the actual men in my life. My brother beating me. That's what fucked me up. Disney, those 3 films gave me shining hope where I went, yeah, because they empowered me. So, but yeah, like from Black Cauldron, oh my God. And I loved when they did Great Mouse Detective. Like, Great Mouse Detective was fucking awesome. Yeah. Loved Great Mouse Detective. I think they've got something kind of going good with Pixar, maybe. I don't know. I'm almost going, how long is it going to take before they fuck this up? Like that's where I'm at with Pixar. Like, and it's just they lost their niche because they got so much hate. And it was just a reflection of the times. And here's the thing. I remember when I watched, so I bought the Warner Brothers Bugs Bunny on DVD. And they have Whoopi Goldberg in the beginning of those films doing an introduction telling you, look, these are a reflection of the times. It's wrong, but to change this is to deny the history of what is. So we haven't touched anything. It's wrong, it's unethical, and we've preserved it all. It's still here, but keep in mind that it was a reflection of the times. And I think Disney, had it not been so hypocritical, had it not been so full of its own garbage, and just released a document at some point that stated that and then completely rebranded. And that's really, it has been a sunken ship since Disney died. It really has been. And like I said, they had 3 really hot movies where it was fantastic during their golden age, where they found their niche again, but then they lost it. And they've been like lost at sea ever since. And now it's just like, dudes, you need to really burn that ship at sea and just call it done at this point. Because I don't see Disney recovering from this. I really don't. I'm really, so now I'm at this point where I'm just watching and reporting on Disney to see how they're going to go down with the ship. That's really what I'm doing now is, how do you think Disney's going to try and get out of this one? And then they're going to turn around and do something hypocritical where they sink their own ship and they're trying to make it worse. And then they'll turn around and be hypocritical. Like I'm watching the demise and the downfall of Disney. And that's where I'm at right now, is just saying, I almost feel bad for them, but I don't. I almost feel bad for them. All right, I am so off of this now. I just needed to say this about Disney because okay. Thank you so much for being my audience, and may the kindest of words always find you.